guys, it is Jack and welcome to a new video. We are only a month away from the 2018 iPhones. Made a few videos about these 2018 iPhones before, and if you've watched them, you'll know that there are going to be 3 iPhones. The first I'll call the iPhone 9 because it's essentially going to replace the current iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. It's going to look like the iPhone 10, but it's going to be a little bit bigger, and it's going to have an LCD display instead of the OLED ones on the iPhone 10, as well as it only having one single camera on the back like the iPhone 8, and that's going to be kind of the budget model. Then there will also be a middle model, which will be a replacement of the iPhone 10, like an iPhone 11 per se, that will look and feel exactly the same, but will just probably be an incremental upgrade with speed improvements. And finally, there will be the new flagship, which is the iPhone 10 Plus, or what I'll call the iPhone 11 Plus, essentially a way bigger iPhone 10. And this has been rumored for a while, but believe it or not, Apple even confirmed some of our rumors by themselves. They did this last year, but essentially if you go into the iOS 12 beta code, you can see a little GIF that you will receive on an iPhone 11 Plus when you're trying to use Apple Pay. They did this last year with the iPhone 10 and the iOS 11 code, so before the iPhone 10 came out, we knew already what it was going to look like. So I don't know if Apple just didn't really think of this or what. It definitely looks a lot bigger and it looks very different than the iPhone 10, confirming that there will be a bigger iPhone 10 model this year. As far as the iPhone 9, people are thinking it will come in a variety of colors, kind of like the old iPhone 5C, because it's that lower level budget model. We'll see white, black, blue, orange, yellow, and a ton of other rumored colors, although probably not a red color, because you guys know that usually gets released around 6 months after the phone. One color we can expect on the iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Plus, though, the 2 flagships, is that gold color we saw this year on the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. If you guys were watching the rumor videos back then, you'll know that that gold color was supposed to be on the iPhone 10 too, but due to some manufacturing error, they couldn't make that, so they only had to bring it out in white and black, which is a little disappointing. But this year we could see that gold color on the iPhone 10 and 10 Plus now that they've mastered the manufacturing. On the iPhone 10 and 10 Plus, it'll definitely be something to add to it that will help differentiate your phone so that everyone knows you have a new one. Another thing Apple will do to make sure everyone knows that you've got the new phone is on the iPhone 9, not only will it come with a ton of new colors, but they're also moving the flash module to below the camera. Not really sure how that's going to help, but hey, it looks different. Speaking of the camera, Sony just released a 48 megapixel sensor they're saying could be used in future smartphones. It can shoot in 4K at 90 frames per second, which is just insane, and it's got way better dynamic range. As you guys know, if you've ever taken a picture in front of the sun, either you're going to be totally dark and the sky will look nice, or you will look fine and the sky is totally blown out behind you. That's a problem that iPhones have had for so long, and this lens would fix that. And Sony just happens to be the company that's currently supplying the lenses for iPhones, so cross your fingers. Another really cool new feature we can see on all 3 new phones is Gorilla Glass 6. If you guys have been following kind of the glass that's been on iPhones lately, last year they came out with Gorilla Glass 5, which was supposed to be really extra durable, but this year Gorilla Glass has created Gorilla Glass 6, which is apparently twice as durable as Gorilla Glass 5. When you drop your phone 15 times at 1 meter, your phone still won't crack, or that's what it says. So because it's really new, I'm not sure if we'll see it on this year's phones or if it will be next year, but just for the future of smartphones, we can imagine that Gorilla Glass 6 will be added. As far as the iPhone 9 specifically, we know it will come in a ton of different colors, but we're not really sure what it will have that the iPhone 10 had, but also what it won't have. Chances are it will have wireless charging, and it will have that iPhone 10-like screen, because as Apple keeps saying, that is the future, even if it's just on a budget display. As I said though, it's only going to have that one single shooter that was on the iPhone 8, and it probably won't have Face ID, because if it doesn't have a dual lens camera on the back, it definitely doesn't have a dual lens selfie camera. But that makes me wonder, if it's going to be an iPhone 10-like display, what kind of security is there going to be on it? Is it going to be a less advanced Face ID sensor that only has one camera? Or will there for some reason be portrait mode on the selfie camera but not on the back camera? Or, crossing your fingers again, will there be an in-glass fingerprint sensor? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Chances are all the phones will be announced on September 12th, but Maybe it'll be the 13th or the 14th, who knows. Analysts are also saying that the phones other than the iPhone 9 will be released on September 21st, and the iPhone 9 will be released at some point during October. But what kind of scares me is the prices of these phones. Something to remember is that the iPhone 10 was $1,000. So the iPhone 10 refresh this year that'll be a similar phone will probably be around that same price range of $1,000. The iPhone 9 will probably be around $700 to $800 to take the place of the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, but the iPhone 10 Plus is going to be the new flagship. It's definitely going to be more expensive than the iPhone 10 refresh. So some are saying that it could actually cost $1,200. That's right, you heard me, which just seems absolutely bonkers. You can buy a MacBook for that price. But it does kind of make sense. Apple wasn't quite sure that the iPhone 10 would sell as well as it did. It actually broke records it sold so well, and yet it was the most expensive iPhone they'd ever released. So if the iPhone 10 sold so well at that crazy, what we thought was ridiculous price point, then it might actually be a good idea on Apple's part to at least try to make a phone for $1,200. And if it's not successful, they can always lower the price. But if they raised it, people would be pretty pissed. So that's pretty much all we know about the 3 phones that should be released in September. So get those dollar bills ready if you're planning on buying these phones, because they are coming soon. And that is pretty much it for this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like and let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the new phones that are coming up. It's mostly just going to be an incremental upgrade to fix some of the problems that the iPhone 10 had, as well as adding a few new features, but it's almost like an iPhone 10s. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new.